It's me, Pop Face. Listen, man, you know what? This on this channel, I talk about a lot of things, and a lot of things in life, cause I'm into a lot of things. I'm into the concern about our youth and parenting and relationships and sports. And today, I just feel like talking a little about boxing because the sport of boxing is one of my favorite sports. But the sport of boxing, man, have been doing us wrong for so long. Man, we tired. We tired. We tired of what is going on in the sport of boxing. I'm tired. I'm tired of fake fighters. I'm tired of people that got information but pretend as if they don't know what is going on. You know, I'm tired of Crawford fans, because this is what I want to talk about. I'm tired of Crawford fans, and I'm tired of Earl Spence fans. I'm tired of all of these doggone fans. Now, the up and coming potential fight between Earl Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford, we haven't got this fight, and it's been years. And these fighters get on my nerves, man. Pretending as if they some type of they got it like that. They pretending like they own promotional company and they can do everything. They do everything, And here's my thing. Like, I thought fighters sign contracts, man. And if you sign a contract for a certain amount of years or certain amount of fights or whatever, however they do it, I don't really care how they do it. But what I do know is that when you the man, like Earl Spence say that he's the man, when you the man, and if you really want something bad enough, that holds a lot of weight. I'm talking about when you the main man of a promotional company, like Canelo. If Canelo was with any promotional company that he's with, he's the man, right? And if he sign a contract for 3 fights or a year or however many, when it get close to that contract being up, the people that you with, because look at this dude, man. I'm trying to drive. This dude about to cut me off. But the promotional company that you with, if you bring in all the money to that promotional company, that's leverage. You the leverage. You can go to them and say, listen, I want this fight. And if y'all can't get this fight, after I'm done, after I do the fights with y'all, I'm not signing again. I'm moving on to somebody else that can get me the fights. Earl Spence can do that. He can do that. He can go into PBC and say, listen, if y'all can't get me this fight, because undisputed is what I want. This is what he said. Multiple times he said that, he had a plan. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then after that, I'm going to take Terrence Crawford belts. That's what he said. Now it's time for you to take Terrence Crawford belt. And if PBC can't do it, then you are the man. You saying, and I don't went to heard all these fighters say that, Earl Spence, he's a man. He can go to any company. Any company want Earl Spence. He can go over here. He can go over there. Well, why won't you use that to make the fight? Why won't you go to PBC and say, listen, if y'all, and the rumor is that Terrence Crawford had took the less part of the deal. He took the less money to make this fight. So why can't Earl Spence say, listen, I want this fight. I want to be undisputed. I'm not planning on boxing forever. I want something to be in the record books. If he beat Terrence Crawford, to me, he's a Hall of Famer. If he beat Terrence Crawford and then move up to 154 and get a belt and be undisputed at 154, he's a Hall of Famer. But he is not a Hall of Famer without beating Terrence Bud Crawford. And even though they need each other, well, Spence need Crawford. Because Crawford already a Hall of Famer. Because he had done more in the sport of boxing, in Earl Spence's entire career. He have done more in the sport of boxing. You know, he done moved up 3 weight divisions. I think I'm correct, 3. But he faced champions in all those weight divisions. He been undisputed already. He already a Hall of Famer without fighting Spence. Spence need to fight Crawford if he want to become a Hall of Famer. Now, if you want to just be that fighter where they claim he done fought all the big champions, and which I can't see it. I can't see it. I got to speak about it. I got to speak about it because y'all keep saying that he fought. Who have he fought? Really? And here's my thing. Errol Spence big head. Cause see, I'm all over the place. My mind is thinking so fast because it's so much to say about Errol Spence. It's so much to say about the reason that this fight haven't happened yet. It's so much to say. It's so much to say. And so I'm gonna try to narrow this thing down bit by bit. I can't talk for a long time about a whole, each topic, cause I'll be here forever, But the thing is, Errol Spence, who have he beat? Really? Lamont Peterson, an old fighter. Lamont Peterson was old. Kell Brook, think about it, man. Kell Brook, he was damaged already by Triple G. And even in that fight, come on, man. If he wasn't damaged, Kell Brook, if that fight would have played, I had Kell Brook winning the fight, bro. And you know what I noticed about Kell Brook winning the fight? He wasn't a stationary fighter. And you look over Errol Spence's career, man. He had fought all these stationary fighters that ain't got good footwork, fighters that just stand there in the hot guard and let Errol Spence just punch him and punch him and punch him and punch him. He ain't fought too many fighters that have good footwork, good defense, and all that stuff, man. He ain't fought that many good fighters like that. Now, I'm saying this to get to Keith Thurman. Even though you hate it, even though Errol Spence felt like Keith Thurman was ducking him and he didn't give him a chance to fight, but you got to look at Keith Thurman beat Sean Porter. Keith Thurman beat Danny Garcia. Keith Thurman beat these fighters. He the only fighter that haven't lost to any of these fighters. The fighters that you have fought, Sean Porter lost to Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia lost to Keith Thurman. And you kind of trying to say you ain't gonna fight Keith Thurman, even though I feel like you would beat Keith Thurman. Errol Spence would beat Keith Thurman. But if you don't like a fighter, that's the reason you should fight him. What type of soft mess is this? Well, come on, bro. All of y'all know, if you're a fighter, if you're a real fighter at heart, you don't play that. He didn't give me a fight. I ain't gonna give him a fight. If you don't like the dude, you saying you don't like him, what better way of showing that you don't like a person but by putting pause on him? And then when you put pause on Keith Thurman, you beat Keith Thurman, bro. That beat Sean Porter. He got one loss. One loss on his resume, bro, to Manny Pacquiao. Bro, come on. That's the reason that you should want to fight Keith Thurman. You say you don't like him, you should be willing to put hands on him. Sean Porter did not beat Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia did not beat Keith Thurman. Then you think about Ugas. Ugas lost to Sean Porter. Who had Errol Spence beat? They ain't undefeated. Spence and Crawford beat undefeated fighters. And y'all would say, well, who is this? Who is that? And here's the thing. I'm moving on to something else. Here's the thing. If you only watching one promotional company, the promotional company that's over there across the road, you really ain't noticing the good fighters that they got over there. So therefore, you will say Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. It's not that they ain't fought nobody. It's that you watch PBC fighters all the time. You ain't watching top ranked fighters. So therefore you don't know the good fighters, the good names that's over there on top rank. you know. And those names that was good over there on top rank, Terrence Crawford beat him. He beat him. This man, Earl Spence, told Terrence Crawford, he said, okay, he went on First Take, and he told, even before First Take, he told Terrence Crawford, go get a belt. Go beat Jeff Horn. Fight Jeff Horn. Terrence Crawford went over there and fought Jeff Horn, beat Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn outweighed him, you know. Jeff Horn won on 140. I don't know. I believe they fought at 140, 140. Yeah, they fought at 147. But Jeff Horn, he wasn't on 147 pounds. He wasn't on 147 pounds. You know, he had a weight advantage. He was a bigger fighter. You know, but he made it look easy. He made it look easy beating Jeff Horn. You know, he got the belt. He come back. He asking for the fight. You know, and now Keith Thurman go and Earl Spence go. Well, I might want to fight Sean Porter. Take the easy route. See, here's the thing, y'all. This fight between Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford could have been fought. If you say he's not a big draw, then you should have fought him earlier. Your biggest draw. You should have fought Earl Spence earlier. And then, you know, their biggest fight probably could have been between you and Sean Porter. It could have been fought. But you wanted to save Terrence Crawford for last. For last. You told him to do everything. He done everything. You told him, oh, he on the wrong side of the street. He dropped the man. He dropped Bob Arum. He came, and now he a free agent. And I really feel like this fight is not happening right now. It's because PBC is so fixated on trying to get Crawford, you know, to sign with them. He want them to sign with them that's security. Think about it. If Earl Spence loses to Terrence Crawford, then you got somebody, you got another star you just signed, Terrence Crawford. That's leverage for the PBC. And I feel like this fight is not happening because of that main reason right there. You know, Terrence Crawford, why would I want to sign with y'all? And I don't being over on top rank, and I don't make more money on top rank. And I see how the business of top rank treated me real good. And now y'all want me to sign to y'all. Y'all want me to sign to y'all, and y'all do the way y'all do y'all deals. I don't even like the way y'all do y'all deals. You know, he used to getting upfront money, guaranteed money, and now he got to fight off a little bit of guarantee and make some money on the back end. You know, all that. He ain't used to doing business like that. And if he don't want to do business like that, if your man Earl Spence saying he want to fight, Earl Spence, like I said back what I was saying about that, Earl Spence, if he really want to fight, and he the big fish, he should use his big fish status to go to Al Heyman and tell him, listen here, if you can't make this fight, I'm gonna have to move on. To somebody else that can make the fight. You know, now we coming down to the point now where this fight is gonna happen in 2023. I don't know, it's gonna be the middle of 2023. Cause Earl Spence gonna have to fight a mandatory, and doggone Terrence Crawford gonna have to fight a mandatory. That's what we're coming down to now. We coming down to this thing now. And here's the thing people would say, well, Terrence Crawford ain't fought in a long time. He need to fight somebody. But here's how Terrence Crawford thinking. Cause see, y'all done it to him too many times. If he fights somebody else, and y'all feel like the person he fight, Terrence Crawford gonna win, he's not gonna get no credit. The only time Terrence Crawford would get credit if he fight Earl Spence to beat Earl Spence. He never gonna get credit. He fought Sean Porter. Sean Porter daddy threw in the towel. Even though a blind man can see, Ray Charles, Stephen Wonder can see that doggone that what was about to happen to Sean Porter. Sean Porter was about to go to NyQuilville. He was about to go to NyQuilville, bruh. You know, shout out to my man E Thriller and the Black Picasso. He said that he was about to go to sleep experts, you know. And exactly, he was about to go to sleep experts for real, you know. And some of y'all will say, well, he should have let it happen. See, this is what's wrong with the sport of boxing. When it come down to your favorite fighter, you want your favorite fighter to be saved. Or you will say, well, the sport of boxing, we so bloodthirsty that we don't care about fighters' health. We don't care about his saving the fighter's life. You know, if it's your daughter or your son is in there boxing and he's about to suffer some major injuries where it could take his life, you'll be ready to pull him out. But since you don't care about Sean Porter, you want him to go in there and get brain injury. You didn't want the fight to be stopped. The only time you wanted that fight to be stopped, you wanted doggone Sean Porter to be laying on the mat, dead, so halfway dead. And that's the only way Terrence would have got recognition for him. Since Sean Porter daddy stopped the fight, he saw what was about to happen. Everybody that saw that fight that's not biased, saw what was about to happen. The problem with these fighters is that y'all got y'all heart all in this thing, as if Errol Spence gonna give y'all some money, as if Terrence Crawford gonna give y'all some money. Listen, I'm not from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm not from Dallas. I'm not from Dallas, Texas, or New York, or whatever. And that's the problem with y'all fighters. Y'all feel like, I gotta rock with a fighter because he from my city. That's the dumbest thing that I ever heard in my life. I don't care if a fighter is from my city. If I know he can't beat, if I know he ain't gonna beat this other fighter, I'll say it. I'll say it. If Terrence Crawford was from my city, and I know Errol Spence could beat Terrence Crawford, I'm gonna say, listen, I'm going with Errol Spence. I'm gonna say it just like that. I'm gonna say, listen, I'm rocking with Terrence Crawford because he's from my city. I'm pulling from him, but I really think that Errol Spence is gonna beat Terrence Crawford. That's being unbiased. I'm gonna put it this way. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. But if I'm betting money, and if I know that another team is gonna beat Dallas Cowboys, I'm not finna put my money on the Dallas Cowboys, even though I'm a fan and I know this team got the better team over here. I'm not doing that dumb mess. I don't bet with my heart. And even in this fight right here, a lot of people is going with Errol Spence, not because Errol Spence got more tools in the bag, not because Errol Spence, it's a better counter puncher and a better puncher and better this and better. Some of y'all just going for Errol Spence only because he's from your city. That's the dumbest mess in the world. To just be pulling for a fighter only because he's from your city. Get off of this dumb mess, man. Get off of this dumb mess. The mess is dumb. The mess is stupid. If a fighter is better, he's just better. I'm not pulling for a fighter because he's from my city. I'm not pulling for a fighter because he's from this or that. I'm pulling because my eyes clearly see that Terrence Crawford is a different fighter than any fighter that Errol Spence had fought. And even you look at what Sean Porter done to Errol Spence. He used footwork, and he had some technical skills in there, and he used footwork, and he was sharp on that night, until he wasn't sharp, and he got caught, and Sean Porter's glove touched the mat, and it was considered a knockdown, and that's what saved Errol Spence from being defeated, if not defeated, a draw with Sean Porter. That's the only thing that stopped him, But we all know what happened with Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford stopped him. And here's the thing. Terrence Crawford been stopping everybody. Everybody they put in front of him. Terrence Crawford been stopping him. Stop him. He's a smart fighter. And Errol Spence, I'm not saying he's a smart fighter because, like I said, everybody he fought was stationary fighters. Stationary. They ain't have good footwork. And they just sit and let him cut the ring off and just sit and let him throw body punches. And that's why I don't like watching Earl Spence fight. No, I like to see a well-rounded fight. I don't want to see nobody just throw body punches all day long and people getting knocked out, getting TKO'd by a fighter going to the body. I like to see somebody. I like to see multiple things. Most of Earl Spence fight, he going to the body on people. You know, okay, that's good for y'all, but it ain't good for me. I don't like to see no mess like that. You know, just like UFC, I don't like to watch UFC. I like to watch UFC if I see two fighters standing up, and it's a fight like that where they standing up. Oh, I love to see that. But the minute they go to the ground, I don't like to see that mess. I don't like to see nobody going to the ground. It's a boring fight to me now. Like Earl Spence. I say that because Earl Spence fights are boring. You body punches, body punches, body punches, to the top for a little bit, back to body punches, back to body punches. And these same fighters can't stop that. You can stop that, man, by using your footwork. Using your footwork, bruh. You gotta use footwork. But I'm mad today because man, we want this fight. And then for the hear Floyd Mayweather say that this fight is not happening right now. You know, he didn't say it won't gonna happen, but he's saying it's not happening right now. But nobody asked the question, what's the problem then? What's the problem then, Mayweather? Why it ain't happening? He won't answer that. Why it ain't happening? Tell the truth, why it ain't happening? This man done took the last part of the money, and you mean to tell me it still can't happen? Why it ain't happening then? Why it ain't happening, Floyd money, Mayweather? Why it ain't happening? He won't answer that, man. At the end of the day, bro, the world is tired. I'm tired. And by now, I'm with, shout out to E Thriller and the Black Picasso, the Mac Mob, you know, shout out to channels like DT3, the Boom Man, Rebel Life, my man, God, I can't think of his name. Coach Malachi, I think his name right now. Coach Malachi, Blood Boxing. Shout out to these channels, man. Shout out to these channels there. These people just keep it real, bro, on the sport of boxing. You know, shout out to all those channels, man. But by now, as E Thriller was saying, I'm ready for it. If they're not, I believe it was B-Man was saying this. But if they're not gonna fight, man, bro, just move on. No, it was Coach Malachi. Shout out to Coach Malachi. He was saying this. If they're not gonna fight Earl Spence and Keith Thurman, they need to go and fight the mandatories. At least give us some type of enjoyment. We shouldn't have to wait for a year. Terrence Crawford, you know, I'm on his neck now too. You know, even though I'm a Terrence Crawford fan, we shouldn't have to wait this long to see you fight, man. If y'all can't make the fight happen, go and fight one of your mandatories. Give one of the young boys a chance. Virgil Ortiz. Even though he's not ready, you know. And this, I can't move into this subject because it's another whole nother. I'll be gone. I'll be up here for a long period of time again. But I'm gonna just touch on a little bit. You know, give the young boys a chance, man. And what I say, moving on to it, I'm moving on to a point where I say, people, we gotta stop. Just because a fighter lose, we can't just throw them away. If it was a good fight, why throw these fighters away? And I say this because of Virgil Ortiz. He's not gonna beat no Terrence Crawford, bro. Even though but he want to fight. And if they want to fight, they feel like they ready. You know, and see, the promotional companies be holding this up, man. You know, they feel as if, you know, if I throw him in there too fast and he lose, you know, people that's gonna take his credit away and people ain't gonna want to watch him no more, and I start losing money. I can't. And see, that's what it is, you know. And it's the fans' fault, you know. But we tired of this, and we just ready for to see somebody fight, man. If they ain't gonna fight each other, go on, move on. Give Boots Ennis a shot. Give Virgil Ortiz a shot. You know, go on, fight the mandatories, cause we tired now. With that, I'm out. This Pie Face.